Atlanta's #1 radio stations, Swanky 93.3 and The Heat 94.6 radio stations, has you covered. From our studios to our newsroom at K.L.P. Entertainment. Listen on all major audio platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audacity, Apple Podcast, Stitcher Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, and more.
You've heard it said, he's a diamond in the rough. Or maybe, diamonds are forever. Here's something else I've learned about diamonds. They're just pieces of coal put under pressure for a long, long, long time. So when I start feeling like I want to give up, I think about that little piece of coal. And if that piece of coal can make something of itself by not giving up, so can I. Persistence is in you. Pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
K.L.P. Aftermath with your host Kennedy Lucas brings out all the stops. Tune in to K.L.P. Aftermath as we have stories, reviews, current events, and even our famous segment, Elephant in the Room. Inspired by the Breakfast Club's Donkey of the Day, K.L.P. Aftermath with your host Kennedy Lucas streams on Atlanta's #1 radio station, Swanky 93.3 and The Heat's 94.6 radio station. Listen on all major audio platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audacity, Apple Podcast, Stitcher Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, and more.
He went without food, not to lose weight, but to help people lose generations of hate. While many around him rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. When others used religion as an excuse for war, he used it to remind them of love. Mahatma Gandhi made the world a far better place by reaching out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. Soul is in you. Now pass it on. From PassItOn.com.
You are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
Our stories from our studio to your ear. It's the Beyond Swanky podcast.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Good morning, Atlanta. Yes, we're back to the studio, the Beyond Swanky podcast, season 2. I'm one of your hosts, James Myers. Welcome back to the podcast, a radio station, if you will, to all of our fan base out there that's been tuning in thus far. I know we've been gone for about a week now, but it's good to be back in front of the studio to give y'all another exciting podcast for this glorious Monday. Podcasting worlds, I gotta say, because we've been all over the place when it comes to radio and production, but we're back. We're back. Of course, we've got our main host, our main guy, our main man, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas here in the studio, along with Monica Gray. What's going on, y'all?
It is a good morning indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Like James have mentioned, welcome back to the podcast, the Beyond Swanky podcast, season 2. I like that intro you said, main man, the big man. It is I, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Yes, we are back. We're officially back here in the studio, Swanky Studios, for another great podcast. Not just a podcast for us, but a podcast to our fan base. Yes, if you guys saw my latest Instagram video, if you will, we've been gone, right? It was movie release week last week. Street Style Homecoming. And 1943 got released, so we had to do a lot of promotions and marketing for those movies. It had some good numbers opening week. It was very, very good for us. In the Instagram short that I did a couple of nights ago, thanking everybody that's been, tuning in and doing, watching or renting or buying our films. It's been glorious. Where have we been? That's where we've been. We've been promoting. We've been working on another new podcast that's coming up very shortly for K.L.P. Entertainment. So we hustling. I got to say that, James. I got to say that we've been hustling. We've been doing some great stuff. I That's all I gotta say on where we've been. We just been doing promotions when it comes down to it. I'm so thankful for everybody out there. I'm so thankful for people who watch the screening of the film. Of both films. Very, very grateful for that. We introduced Apollo Films as another acquisition for K.L.P Entertainment. So we've got some things on the pipelines when it comes down to that as well. Very, very excited. It's a very exciting week this week. We've got so much stuff coming out this week when it comes to shows and movies and meetings and keynotes. We'll get to all that later on throughout the week. But we've got a show. But first, we cannot forget Miss Monica Gray back up in the studio in the meeting with us all over the week. We've been having meetings. But Monica, today we're doing a podcasting. How are you?
Man, it feels good to be back. Back into the studio, back into doing our thing, back doing what we do best, and that's podcasting. Very, very excited. We've got some things to talk about for sure. Cannot wait to get through the topics today. But like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, it's your girl, Monica Gray, back into the studio for yet another exciting pod. Very, very excited. Thankful for all of our fan base. I gotta say, me and Simone, we talked about the intro, and Simone's doing her thing on the other show, K.L.P Aftermath. Guys, if you missed that, the latest episode of K.L.P Aftermath Season 5 with K.L.P, Kennedy Lucas, and Simone, and Mason Carter is actually on the show as well. Doing the thing. So I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. It is officially springtime. It's hot. Hot girl summer is around the corner. We get into it. We get into the great weather, getting into the greatness of this weather. It's been rainy a couple of days here in Atlanta, storms, but I'm thankful that it hasn't gone bad. Our first of all, I gotta say, our prayers goes out to everybody down there at Fort Lauderdale. It has been flooded for the last couple of days. And I see it on TikTok, I see it on Twitter, I see it on Instagram, and a lot of people's houses are getting flooded, people's cars are getting flooded out the way. It's a sad occasion. So, on behalf of all of our cast and crew members for the Beyond Swanky podcast and K.L.P Entertainment in general, our prayers go out to the people. I hope everyone down there will be able to recoup from everything. It's a sad dynamic. It really is a sad dynamic when things get flooded and you lose your things, and some things may not be covered in insurance. So when it's gone, it's gone. So it's a sad occasion. So yeah.
Yeah. So what Monica said, guys, on the air this morning, our condolences to all of people in Fort Lauderdale. I feel bad when things happen for people like that. I always will say, and Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club would say it kind of best, the craziest people sometimes live in Florida. So I agree with that. But I do feel bad for the good people that are losing their stuff due to the floods. Yeah, it's a sad dynamic. So, guys, we're back into the studio. And of course, we have our must-watch list. Now, typically, I did say that we're going to save that for K.L.P Aftermath, but K.L.P Aftermath, we're going to film that Wednesday. This review can't wait until Wednesday, so I'm going to do it here on this show here today. And this is a show that is spicy, is juicy, is story-driven. Some might say some of the episodes might be a little woke. Right, that's just what critics are saying, and I'm gonna dabble on into it. Now we're talking about this it's a spin-off show that the season 2 hit Netflix 2 days ago, and within the 2 days I binge watched the entire season. Now this show was given 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.2 out of IMDb. And guys, I'm talking about All American Homecoming. Now, if you guys remember, in 2020, the show hit from the CW network, All American, and now they get a spinoff. We watched season 1. We reviewed season 1 many podcasts shows ago. And I am so delighted to be talking about season 2. First off, this is not a sponsor from Netflix, but if you have Netflix, guys, go watch this show. It's available right now on Netflix. Now, All American Homecoming, season 2. We're focusing on season 2 because we already did a review on season 1. This show is juicy. We all love this show because this show is based out of Atlanta. If you guys know, we are based here in Atlanta, Georgia. Our headquarters here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I really love this show because I love it for the story. I love it from the love triangle. And what I'm going to do in this review, I'm going to talk about each character. Now, I can't dabble into the whole entire season because this is going to be a 3-hour podcast if I were to do that. And some things I'm probably not going to remember from season 2, but I had to watch the entire season because, guys, I wanted to review it for the episodes. And this is my review for our segment here on the podcast. Now, season 2, Simone Hicks, played by Jeffrey Hightower. We all know she was from All American, the first show, and based off in California. Right now, she's going to Atlanta to go to Princeton University, and she gets her own little spinoff. Now, the story does expand a little bit more between Simone Hicks and Damon Sims. Of course, Damon Sims is played by Peyton Alex Smith. All these actors and actresses are tremendously well. Like they're acting, their presence on screen is quite amazing. I really liked how season 2 they expand on mental health. You guys are going to see that a lot in this season. You're going to see that a lot when it comes to students finding themselves, refining themselves, and having mental health. Now, you see this with everybody. You do. You see the expansion of Damon and Jesse Raymond, his biological father, and then you see kind of a back story with his adopted father, and then the parents come into play. Right now, you got Amora Patterson, played by Kelly Jenrette. She is President Patterson, so she's president of the school. That really expounds on, first of all, Black excellence, and the first female president of a university at an HBCU. I like it when shows expound more on HBCUs. I think we need more shows like that. The other show that I can kind of compare that to is Dear White People, right? Where it was the origin story happens in a HBCU, and now you get to see another story expound on that. It's really for us. It is. It really is for us to see, an all-black cast and expound more on the HBCU, because it is true that nowadays HBCUs sometimes get looked wrong, right? We do. They really do get looked wrong, unfortunately, in today's society, and they're expounding more on that for sure. Now you've got Royal Ivy King play Miss Nathaniel Harden. They're really expounding on the LGBTQ community and recognizing the pronouns and their pronouns as she, right? You got Camille Hyde that plays Thea, primarily my favorite character because she's sassy, she's sexy, she knows what she wants, she's hot, right? She's going through something because of an injury. Now she's losing her drive to play tennis, right? Throughout this season, she's going through some stuff while also dating Damien, right? She breaks up with Damien within the season because she don't know who she is, because tennis was her love. And now that she's been injured and she haven't been playing and she's not number one at the tennis team anymore, she loses herself, right? You've got Sylvester Powell. He plays JR. In the first season, he was sick, but now in this season, spoiler alert to a lot of people, by the way, if you haven't seen season 2, but he's not as sick. He joins a frat, the KEK, right? And there was some scenes about the KEK. I'm glad that GGC, my alma mater, has sorority now, but I probably would not been able to be a sorority member, because taking orders from people and people, nah. How the way, JR and the KEK frat boys treated the linemen I don't know. I would have been mad. I would have been disrespected. I would have been like, who are you talking to? That's probably why I probably wouldn't have not returned or been in the sorority. But I don't know. You got Marcus Turner. He's back into season 2. He's played by Corey Hardick. Again, he's going through it. He falls in love. Well, he's been in love with President Patterson. There's a love interest there. I'm glad that they end up together towards the end of the season. Oops, sorry, spoiler alert to a lot of people. Very, very good for sure. You've had a lot of celebrities, like Reggie Bush was in one episode. You got Mitchell Edwards to play Cam. I feel for Cam because Cam in this season, he's trying to find himself too, Monica. He is, because he lost his football scholarship in season 1, right? Now he has to figure out how in the hell is he going to afford his tuition, right? Because his father is not really in supporting of him being going to a HBCU in Atlanta. He wants him to stay in California because it's in-state tuition. Now he's paying out-of-state tuition, and out-of-state tuition is a little bit higher than in-state tuition. So now he's going through it, right? He's going through some things that every college kid have done. Even I had the same situation where when I first started college, I'm like, how in the living hell am I going to afford my tuition? Right? Hence why I became an RA and found an on-campus job, and of course, eventually took some loans. Same thing with Cam, the character, played by Mitchell Edwards. He works for President Patterson as an assistant. He's joining a frat to get the scholarship. And towards the end of the season, of course, JR helps Cam out because he got a sponsor of $64,000 in tuition. That's huge. That's big money when it comes down in tuition. Now, Lando Johnson is played by Bob Simple. He plays Lando. He goes to Hawkins, but he really wants to be at Brixton. And of course, there's a love interest between him and Simone. But it's all a big triangle, really. It really is a big triangle between Simone, Damon, and Lando and Thea. It's all because it's Damon and Thea. They go together, but then Damon end up liking Simone, and Simone has feelings for Damon, but she also has feelings for Lando. It's a big conglomerate of a love triangle, a love interest, if you will. Keisha, played by Netta Walker. Keisha, I feel for Keisha. I do, because Keisha, the character in this season, she is taking a dance class, and her Professor Pace is a bitch. Not the actual actor, she's acting, but the character is a bitch, right? And she's writing some wrongs towards the end of the season. But honestly, revenge is the best thing when somebody is bad karma, James. It is. It's bad karma when it comes down to it. So Professor Pace pushes her dance students to the limit where they're not eating, they're not self-health, they're not sleeping, and it's destroying Keisha this season because she's working really hard. She has panic attacks. She don't know what to do. She's scared. It's her collegiate career on the line. There's a lot of things that go on the line for sure. And towards the end of the season, of course, Professor Pace retires or leaves the campus because she's finding herself for sure. That's pretty much the basis of this season. Now, we did get to see some of the cast from the first show, All American, to be guest stars into this. Of course, we had Denzel Ezra that plays Spencer James. You got the character Layla and Jordan Baker in this season, as well as guest celebrity characters, if you will. So it's very, very exciting to see that they're all kind of intertwining with each other. This show is good. I like it because it's based off, number one, it's based off here in Atlanta. I fell in love with every one of these characters. There was this episode where I want to say it was episode 11. Some people will say it's a woke episode, right? But honestly, this stuff happens in real life, right? There's an episode where the women's tennis team, they're going to another county to play in the tournament, and they get stopped by police, harassed by police for no reason. And this really shook me, right? Because this happens still today. Now, I don't know about many HBCUs in the real world, but this does happen, right? Where, police pull people over and for no reason whatsoever, they're a college teen traveling, honest, innocent black teen traveling, but being that this is a HBCU, it's, it's scary it's scary to our counterparts, if I may. So this show hits home for a lot of us in the community. I really do love how they stress mental health in this show, how important it is to advocate mental health in universities. I think, in my professional opinion, we don't have enough relations of mental health in universities. We don't. And this is a lesson to a lot of people that, hey, we need to make sure mental health is, especially in today's society, coming from COVID, coming from injustice, mental health is everything. And I don't see that as much in real life universities as is depicted in this TV series. So the CW has something here. They did get renewed for season 3 of what I've heard. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%, so it's that good. I really recommend you guys watching it. This season is sexy too, and let me tell you how sexy this season is. Because, look, I ain't trying to sound pervertic or anything, but how the way the actors kiss each other in their kiss scenes, oh my God. There was a scene in there where Simone and Damon kissed. They were eating each other's mouth. It felt like that seemed like a deep kiss. Good acting, because when they were kissing, I'm saying, like, when the mouth arches a little bit, like he eating a sandwich or something, that's a deep ass kiss, right? We love it when shows get sexy, especially that one scene where Thea surprises Damon and she in her bra and panties, and she's not herself, right? She's trying to create that distraction. That's sexy. Right. And I think that's the mark that CW, they're realizing with their shows, is we got to continue the sexiness of our shows, because let's be honest, sex sells. Not trying to sound pervertic, but it does. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting take for sure. But yeah, guys, All American Homecoming season 2, go watch it. It's available right now on Netflix.
Guys, Kennedy's not lying. Season 2 is very, very impactful. I recommend a lot of people go out again, along with Kennedy. All American Homecoming season 2 is available right now. So speaking of what's going on, and I knew that this was coming. I thought this event will be like later on in April. And I guess we can kind of say, because it's kind of mid-April right now, we're getting ready towards the month being over, then May is around the corner. But Coachella has been happening for the last couple of days. We all have been following suit of Coachella when it comes down to social media, especially Instagram and Facebook. And I've been seeing it all over my Twitter feed and Instagram feed and even TikTok. And a lot of things have been happening. A lot of good things have been happening for Coachella. We looked at the list of members and people that are who are at Coachella right now as we speak. It's a lot. It's a lot of great things that's going on with Coachella. For instance, Billie Eilish makes a surprise appearance with Labyrinth at the Coachella event. Blackpink perform at Coachella again this year. I think Blackpink has their mark, because when they first appeared at Coachella, I can't remember what year that was. I want to say it was 2019 or 18, one of those teens, I don't know. They kind of made it a household name for them to be at Coachella now. It's like almost a giving for Coachella, for people to be there. Now, the second day of the 2023 Coachella event, the Valley Music and Arts Festival took place at the Empire Polo Field in Indio, California. Throughout the day, was technically headlined by K-pop stars Blackpink and Calvin Harris, one of my favorites. The most anticipated set for more people was the decade plus in the making first ever live performance by J.Paul. Now, other highlights include a jaw-dropping visual fest from Rosalina, or Rosalia, if I pronounced her name correctly. She's an amazing singer. And Boy Genius Homecoming, and a Yehli dance party, and a sun-soaked sleigh fest by Charlie XCX. Now, for much more Coachella coverage, you guys can follow more out there. These performances look like they're giving it their all. I can only imagine how much these Coachella tickets cost. I've never been to Coachella. Always wanted to go, but you can only imagine that a huge festival like this event could be huge, and a lot of these artists, they're getting paid, and I'm sure the tickets are high. You know, they're high, because you got such a great lineup when it comes down to Coachella performances, and you know, it's a big deal for a lot of people. Now, going through some of the highlights here, we'll talk about J.Paul. Now, after halfway through his live performance ever, an evening slot at the Mojave tent, J.Paul began manipulating the feedback he was receiving in real time. Throughout the final songs of his set, BTSTU, and a glorious rendition of Straight Out of Mumbai, one of the century's most energetic pop stars, if you will, intermittently argued the crowd noise with more cheers, either piped in or this audience mic'd and backplayed on slightly higher volume. Now, I want to know if that's true. Now, this is coming from Pitchfork Reports, guys. I want to know if that's true, because I feel like a lot of concerts are doing this kind of thing, where they may not have a huge crowd, but they make it look like there's a lot of people on camera for the cameras, and then they have an overlay of an audio audience, and they just beef it up a little, right? Because, you know, there's been rumors that the UFC does this. There's been rumors that WWE does this, where they may not have a lot of people in attendance, but then they beef it up. And this could be true. Not speculating anything here on the show, but it could be true, because you can only imagine how much Coachella tickets are. And we're still in a recession. So a lot of people can't even afford gas, unfortunately. So unless you win a giveaway or you got your tickets on the low, it's hard. It is hard to perform out Coachella tickets. Now, that's what has been said. It's what has been said on there. Rosalea's live show is a rare pop concert that feels like an innovation. She sounds magnificent and a total control of her voice, and her dancers are top-notch. Very, very exciting. But what's more transportive is that way she uses screens, allowing documentary-style shots to follow her backstage and beaming her on her own handheld front-facing camera footage to the Jumbotron. Eye-popping video elements were already in effect during the Montomami tour last year, but they feel especially fresh and even overdue at Coachella and its popular annual live stream. Why not perform for fans at home as much as those present? Which is a smart idea. I think this is a smart idea if you are able to somehow perform for your audiences that are there, but for people who will want to watch it at home. Now you've got a concert that you're giving for the people at home, probably upload it to YouTube. You're probably going to get about 5 to 10 million views on, let's say, if it's your content of you singing, and you're able to upload it to your YouTube channel. Now you got 5-10 million, and now you got monetization, and now you're making money also from YouTube. So it's a good innovative way to keep going and keep your markets there and keep growing for that. And I think that was a great move for her as well. Blackpink, of course, the Korean girl group Blackpink's headlining set on the Coachella stage was so overwhelming that it seemed less like a concert than a monument to human achievement in stage production. The spectacle started well before the quartet even appeared. beginning with the amuse-bouche of several hundred drones in synchronous flight, which is cool. A lot of concerts are doing using drones for synchronized flights to create graphics or even design. They change the color and shifted shades in a surreal display, arranging themselves as, amongst other things, a caterpillar, a butterfly, and a paper crane, and some sort of creature, maybe a hippo, dressed as an astronaut shooting a laser beam from its arm. Watching Jenny, Jisoo, Lisa, and Rosé power through hits like Whistle, Lovesick Girls, Kill This Love, and Boombayah, as well as an interlude of solo tracks. I did see before we came this morning, I did see Jutsu's, she's performing her single that just came out, so good market, smart move. About the K-pop machine and corporate festival machine, and about how when you're watching a performance on massive screens from hundreds of feet back, you're really partaking in a once-in-a-lifetime experience by Blackpink. So again, those are just some of the highlights from Coachella. It looks fun, guys. It looks like they're having a slam dunk event. I'm sure they're gonna make a lot of money from Coachella because people pay these tickets. And let me see real quick, I want to see the ticket pricing for Coachella on estimate, because I'm very very interested to see how much the pricing of the passes will be. So yes, it's expensive with fees. You know, you got the general admission, $549 plus fees. If you want the VIP pass, now weekend 1 is no longer available because that's passed now, but weekend 2, which that's like the 21st through the 23rd, I want to believe, you're gonna pay $1,069 plus fees. So you got to add on the fees and taxes. So most you're coming out with maybe about $1,400-1,500 if you want the VIP passes. Some people are paying for it. Some people are not. Now, there's more to it. If you prefer car camping, you gotta pay $375. If you want a tent, you can pay $149. Of course, there's a bundle for a lounge area, 2 general admissions for 2. That's $2,000. VIP for 2, that's over $3,000. VIP for 4, that's over $6,000. And if you want safari camping, that's $9,000. And if you want to do a residency, that's $15,000. So $15,000. So again, Coachella is expensive. It's a high price ticket, and a lot of people may not be able to get it.
Yeah, that's a pass for me. It is. It has to be a pass for me because, you know, you're spending a lot of money on it. Coachella is a one-time, lifetime opportunity experience. I know a lot of our friends have been to Coachella and they enjoyed it, but right now in today's climax and things being high, hey, if you got it, you got it. Speaking of somebody who don't got it, we gotta talk about Rocksteady. Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is delayed again. Kennedy, I know me and you, we've been talking about this game. This was a high anticipated game, and I kind of wanted to talk about it too because this game has fallen into the curse. It does. If a game gets delayed so many times, then us gamers, reviewers, bloggers, whoever you want, podcasters, we tend to lose focus. We tend to lose interest into the project. To all of our fans, if you didn't know by now, it has been delayed to February 2024. So now you're looking at almost 8 months of a delay. I think they're scrambling. I think that they're reworking the whole game because of the keynote that they had. And I'm kind of sad about it because this game had a lot of potential. This game had tremendous, and I do mean this, guys, it had tremendous potential to be a great light of a good game for not only for, you know, last gen consoles, but for, let's say, PlayStation 5. Now, this game had a lot of mixed response to its gameplay. Even I've had my thoughts. I thought that when we first saw the gameplay from the keynote from PlayStation, it was a bit boring. It was a bit not innovative. When I first saw that this game was getting development and Rocksteady was behind it, I thought this was going to be just like the Arkham games, right? That's where I think they missed the mark. I gotta say, I think they missed the mark because they tried to create a new formula that's so new to us bloggers, gamers, podcasters, that it didn't sell us. Now, Warner Brothers and Rocksteady have decided to delay the game once again, originally set for May 26th this year, after it was delayed from the original 2022 release date. So we had 2022, I think it was supposed to be December 2022, May of 2023 this year. Now pushes it back to February 2nd, 2024. Now, this was a quote from the Twitter, official Twitter, and I'm going to read it to you guys because I want our fan base to comment on the forum and let me know what you guys think. This is what they said. "We have made a tough but necessary decision to take the time needed to work on getting the game to its best quality experience for players. Thank you to our amazing community for your continued support, patience, and understanding. There is much more to share in the months ahead. We look forward to seeing you in Metropolis next year." Ooh. They just screwed themselves up. Now, us, again, gamers, bloggers, podcasters, whoever you want to call us, because I know a lot of people hate that name, gamers. We like to say that it's good that when a game is not quite ready, they delay the game to many, many months that's necessary to perfect the game. Kennedy, you've been preaching about this in previous shows before, and I'm going to steal a line from your book, Kennedy, that gaming is premium. Gaming is premium, and we're paying a premium price for gaming, and a lot of people, as of this year and last year, and we'll say it in 2021, a lot of people have been very skeptical about which games they're picking up. But before COVID, before inflation, people would just pick up a game, even though they might know it sucked. People are going to pick up the game because they like to play it and it was at a good cost. Now you're looking at these games, and we've said it multiple times, and we'll continue saying it. These games are $70, $80, $100. A lot of people now are getting skeptical about what games to pick up because we're paying such a high price for these games. And we don't like for games to be high priced and half-baked. So Warner Brothers and Rocksteady, they're realizing we're not going to do well. If we had the game come out in May, we weren't going to do well. We were not going to make our quota. Now, this says to us that they're going to, I think they're going to rework the whole game. Probably not the entirety of the game, because if they work the entirety of the game, guys, honestly, this is going to be 3 more years that they need to rework this whole game. So they don't have that time crunch for 3 years to rework the entirety of the game. I think they're going to work out the gameplay style of the game. I think they're going to change a lot. I'm hoping. I hope they're not just going to sit on the next coming of months. They're just sitting on it and not really being innovative. And then they say, hey, here's the game. Right? So it's very, very interesting. I'm very interested to see what happens to this game. I get very sad because this game had a lot of potential. It did. My take from it, guys, I didn't like the gameplay when they showed it off. I didn't like how everybody had AK-47. You know, everybody had the same gun. There's no pizzazz to it. There's no change. There's no, okay, so if Harley Quinn's gonna have a shotgun, or let's say Deadshot deserves a shotgun because he's Deadshot, have Boomerang has a different type of weapon. King Shark should have a different type of weapon, right? They all shouldn't have the same weapon. It's kind of boring. Now, the game will also mark a long-time Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy's final time as the Dark Knight. got rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. Still in development for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam. Again, we look forward to this game, I guess, in February 2024, but by the time February of next year comes around, we're gonna be playing all the other games. We're kind of going to forget about this game, right? It's the same thing with the game Black Myth, Wukong, right? That game got delayed so many times, and I feel like that game comes out next summer. So I hope these highly anticipated games, I hope we don't lose interest. I hope that we don't forget about them. But Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is on that list of games to be forgotten by gamers, because there's going to be so many other games that we're playing, and then when February of next year comes back around, we're going to say, oh yeah, I forgot about that game. When did they work on this game? Let's see what they did. We kind of forgot about it. So now let's see if we might pick this game up. Comment below, guys. Want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this game getting delayed for a third time? We want to hear from you.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Rocksteady. I had highly anticipation for this game too as well, James. But it's a sad dynamic. It really is, and I'm one of those people that, if a game gets delayed so many times, then I'm like, well, then I don't know now. When the game comes out, I'm going to be a lot more skeptical. Like, do I really want to pick this game up? Because I've been waiting years now for this game. So I agree. I do think they're going to rework this game because they realize the market. They realize they and it's good, right? It's good that the company listened to the community, right? Because the community, and there's been a large community of people not liking what they saw from the keynote. So it's like, okay, yeah, they're saying, oh shit, like we're not going to make sales from this game because nobody's going to buy it because they have their own bias, and it's true. We're in this recession. We're in things being premium. People are not going to want to just so easily pick up a game that's going to suck, right? People will rather save their money. So we've got Arthur up in the studio this morning for the Beyond Swanky podcast with the sports news. We're talking about Robert Williams. Is that correct, Arthur?
Robert Williams makes Celtics history with electric Game 1 versus Hawks. Robert Williams makes Celtics history with electric Game 1 effort originally appeared on NBC Sports Boston. Robert Williams was at his game-altering best in the Celtics' 2023 playoff opener. The high-energy big man only tallied 12 points Saturday afternoon at TD Garden, but did so on a perfect 6 of 6 shooting while stuffing the stat sheet with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal and 1 block in Boston's 112-99 win over the Atlanta Hawks. Williams' performance marked the third postseason game of his career in which he scored 10-plus points on 100% shooting, tying a Celtics franchise record. Ed Pinckney is the only other player with 3 such postseason games with the Celtics, during the 1990 and 1991 playoffs. Williams' previous 2 perfect games came during the 2020 postseason, both in wins over the Toronto Raptors in the second round, but this might have been his most impactful of the 3. The Celtics consistently found Williams at the rim for highlight reel dunks, and he kept the ball moving with quick reads on outside touches. On the other end, Williams played his usual dynamic defense, forcing the Hawks to settle for outside shots and erasing those that came near the paint. It's just his presence at the rim on both ends of the floor, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla said after the game. I thought he did a good job of protecting us in the paint, especially in the first half. Although he did a great job keeping his spacing and creating screen angles for our guys. So when we have that vertical threat, it really helps us with rim protection as well. Health has always been an issue for Williams, who only played in 35 games this season due to various injuries. But when he's 100% and impacting winning at both ends like he did Saturday night, the Celtics are very hard to beat.
Thanks, Arthur, for that sports news about Robert Williams and the Celtics versus our Hawks. It's always good. It's always good. Now, we've got, as always, now this is the Beyond Swanky podcast, if you guys didn't know as of yet. And on this show, we like to go beyond the swankiness when it comes to our topics of conversations. And I wanted to lean into another conversation that, has been buzzing around. A lot of podcasters have been having, it's not really an issue, guys, but it's more of a topic of conversations of what will happen. And I think I know the answer to this question I proposed to not only us here at Swanky Studios, but to our audience out there. You know, this is a question. And like I say, I think I already know the answer. But comment below in our forum. We definitely like to hear from our fan base for sure. But the question I'm proposing for you, Monica and James, and staff, cast and crew members here in the studio, what would you do if you're taking your significant other out to dinner and they started ordering a lot of food? Now, this question goes to a lot of people who might have. Let me take a step back, because not so much for your significant other. So the question is, what would you do if you had a date for somebody you just met? You're taking them out on a date, and they start ordering a lot. When this is just a date, you're trying to get to know somebody. You're not dating officially, but you're on a date to fill somebody out. First date. What would you do if that person ordered a lot from the menu? And is there a limit? And when I say is there a limit, I'm asking, is there a limit for your debit card, credit card, or cash when it comes down to ordering food for your date? And also, what would you do if that date brought a friend? Now, it's simple. I can go ahead and answer that right now. When it comes down to, because I've been on dates before. You know, I've been on dates where, the dates go really, really well. And then when you get home, you text each other for a minute and then you don't text no more. I've been on dates where the date mentioned their exes. That wasn't for a good date because she's still thinking about that ex. Hey, well, why are you here with me then? You know, I've had dates. I had awkward dates. I had a good date where I thought it was a date and it turned out to be just a hangout. Right? I've had dates like that. Those are the weirdest dates when I think it's a date and I'm trying to pay and she's like, no, I got it. No, I got my half. Oh, that's not a date. That's just a hangout. You need to quit that one, bro. Now, if I really like somebody, and if I have a good feeling that she likes me too, then to me, there's not so much of a limit. I say so much. Now, if you ordering $500 worth of stuff from the menu, yeah, that's my limit. I wouldn't even spend that much on a date because, goddamn, like who eats that much? I had to be careful how I phrase that. I think if somebody invites you out to lunch, brunch, or dinner for a date, spend a good amount, but don't be foolish. Don't take advantage of that person. Right? Because that's where I kind of come in. That's where I kind of feel, guys, that, if I invite somebody out and they're ordering $300, $400, $500 worth of food, now you're taking advantage of somebody. You're not humble. That's just greedy. And to me, that's fat. That's just being fat. Right? When you're on a date, this is proper date etiquette to kind of go for the cheapest item in there. If you're getting taken care of, go for the cheapest item. Right? I've been on business trips where they say, get what you want. I still order the cheapest thing because it's not coming out of my pocket. Right? It's just etiquette. It's just manners and etiquette. If a company is treating me out to dinner, okay, I'm getting the cheapest thing on there. I know that sounds a little foolish. I know a lot of people have their different opinions on that. That's just me being knowing my manners and having out to eat etiquette, date etiquette, treatment etiquette. That's how I feel on that certain topic. Going for the cheapest menu, I think it's good that if somebody's taking you out, go for the cheapest thing. Right? So that way you can really feel the person. Now, you really want to spend a bag when you're dating someone. Let's say my girlfriend, my wife, whoever she is, if we're in that serious relationship, then yeah, there's no limit because you my girl. right? I'd be happy to spin a bag for my girl. Now, for somebody I just met and I'm just feeling you out, yeah, I'm not going to be dropping a bag for you because who knows? We might even not text later, right? We may not text later and she goes off to meet somebody else and then that other man can provide what I can't. Right? That's just how you have to do it in today's society, in today's climax. You go for, be humble with your dates. Now, if a friend, if that first date invites a friend, first of all, I said, this is what I would do. If it's a date and she knows it's a date, just me and her, and she goes and invite her homegirls, I said, okay, well, you guys have fun at your dinner. I'm out. Because I'm not paying for two. I'm paying for one. Right? And if I don't bounce out, I would say, hey, she good, right? She's covering her own meal, right? Now, I never had this happen before. But if she says, well, no, she, I thought you were going to get it. Oh, no. Okay, have fun on your dinner. I'm out. That's how I would do it. Because I'm only interested in one person. Right? I didn't come here to do a threesome. I come here for one person. And that person is you. Is that one person I invited. It's a date. You know it's a date. I'm treating you out just to get to know you. And you going to invite your homegirl. Okay, have fun. Enjoy your dinner. I'm out. You got it. Right? And then nowadays, because I've seen this on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, to where, and this is a lesson for us guys. For me, when I go on a first date, I'm not interested. And if it happens, it happens. Right? But I wouldn't be sad if I didn't get a kiss. Right? On the first date, I'm not looking to just have sex. Right? A lot of dudes, they get upset when you pay for dinner and then you're not getting a nightcap afterwards and they get mad. I'm not looking for that. If you're genuinely interested into somebody, really get to know somebody for them, not just what their bodies, but really get to know them for them. Yes, I'll be glad to pay for the first date, and I want us to have more dates before we can get to second base. Right? That's the problem I would say in our generation is we just want to hit it and quit it. Oh, well, I'm not paying for this dinner if I'm not getting none later. That's not how you do that. You're real douchey if you do it like that. You're real douchey if you're wanting, hey, I'm going to take you out, but we going to fuck afterwards. No, that's not how you do that. Right? If you genuinely want to get to know somebody. Now, if you just want to hit it and quit it, you might as well just go on Tinder. Right? Tinder's famous for that. Oh, I meet somebody and they offer their 2-for-1 special. You get $200 for one night. Y'all know what I mean. That's service. Right? If you're looking for service like that, go on Tinder. Go on Bumble. But if you genuinely looking for somebody just to get to know, be humble with it. Take this person out. Of course, pay for dinner. It was a great date. Hey, I want more dates before we can get to second base and third base. Let's go on more dates. Let me really fill you out. Am I right or am I right?
100% correct, Kennedy. I've had my fair share of dates with fellows out there that, you know, they just wanted, hey, I'm paying for dinner. Are we fucking later? Hate to excuse my French, but it's true. A lot of people, they get they get like that. And for my ladies out there, we have to understand our value. We understand that as a lady, we have to know our worth. We have to know our value. We have to fill our fellows out. Because I'm a firm believer that there are some good men out there, but there are some bad men out there too. And I think for us ladies, it's wrong to go on a date and invite our homegirls. I would tell my homegirls about the dates that I go on, but that I would tell them after the date. I wouldn't tell them before the date. I'll tell them after the date. Right? And one thing I do, and it's just me, is if I'm really interested in someone, I'm not going to let my homegirl meet him. Because who knows what that can turn up to be. where my homegirl might like a guy that I like, and now that's that triangle. And then now that guy forgets about me because he met my homegirl, and he likes my homegirl more. So definitely I don't introduce other men to my homegirls. I'll tell them about the date after. But then if she asks, oh, what's his name? No. How old is he? Oh, no. What does he do for work? Absolutely not. Because I know because I've had some homegirls that I'm not friends with no more because they ask me what he do. How old is he? How tall is he? How big is it? Right? You know, how deep does it go? No. Because I know they're going to research. We got social media outlets, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Your homegirl might even go and look them up. Try to DM them. Like, hey, I know you like my friend Monica, but my name is this. Right? So as ladies, for that, we have to be careful. We have to be careful with the men we see. But it is true, it is wrong to bring your homegirl to a date that you're on, right? Unless this is exceptional if it's a double date, right? If your homegirl has a boyfriend and they want a double date, because that happens, double dates to the movies or to the park, if it's a double date, then that's a completely different scenario. But if it's not a double date and it's just one-on-one and you just having somebody intrude on your one-on-one, that's a big no-no. Right? And that has happened. I've seen that happen on Facebook and Instagram. These might have been skits, but this stuff happens in real life that you want to try to control that. Because now the man may not be interested in you anymore because now you have all these girls around. Drama that's around, and now you lose that connection, you lose that relationship, and he goes off to another woman, right? So it's just one of those things we have to look out for as ladies in our young generation community. But Kimmy, you're 100% correct. Ladies, when you're genuinely interested in somebody and he's paying for it, there's two things you got to watch out for. You don't want to meet up with a bum, right? That's been taught for many, many moons. You do not want to be meeting up with a bum. If he sits you down, he looks good, right? He looks good, he dresses good, smells good, but at the end of the dinner, he's fumbling around trying to find his wallet, and he says, "Oh, baby, I left my wallet in the car. Can you pay for it?" Red flag. Not a white flag, red flag. Because who's to say he wouldn't do that again? Right? Who's to say he won't do that again? Next day, oh man, damn, I left my wallet at the house. I ain't got no card or no cash. Baby, can you pay for it? Right? You gotta watch out for that stuff. If you're walking down, let's say after dinner, you're just walking in town for just to talk more, and one of his exes come up like, "Hey, Latrell," or "Hey, I'm trying to think of a guy name. Okay, Kennedy, I'm gonna use you. If me and Kennedy's walking down after dinner, we're just talking, and Trisha, this other girl, this is not real. Trisha comes down, "Hey, Kennedy." And Kennedy, you go like, oh, hey, Trisha, how you doing? And then I ask, who's that bitch? I probably wouldn't say it like that, but I would say, who's that bitch? And then Kennedy, you say, oh, that's Trisha, that's my ex. Red flag. Why she still hitting you up? Huh? She's still interested. How do she said hey to you? She obviously either snooping you out. She's here alone? Oh, she's following you. It's that woman's intuition. So again, ladies, we have to watch out for this kind of stuff.
For me, I'm a family man, right? So when it comes to paying for two women, they have better be my girl and my mama, or my girl and my sister. those are the only two women I'm paying for a date, quote unquote. Because it's more of a meeting, and let's say my mom comes to town and she wants to meet Maria, and she has before, and that has happened. Me and Maria, where me and Maria took my mom out to lunch, and now it's kind of like a date, but it's kind of more of a hangout. That's the only thing I'm paying for a double up on, right? But when it was two girls, and I have to be careful because Maria does listen to our show, before I dated Maria, it had to be just her. I wasn't interested in all the other girls that showed up in my timeline. Now, I'll be honest, before I met Maria, I've had different dates for different women, but not all at the same time, right? I would date girl A, or try to take girl A out on a date, and then next week I'll take girl B, right? Because that's the nature of our game in our young generation, when you're trying to get to know some people, then that's appropriate. But if you lock down one person, for an example, Maria, I met her and she was the one who hung out the most. She's the one who understood me the most. I'll lock it down, right? Lock it down to just her. And now, as of today, we still kicking it. We go out on dates, and it's just her. I'm tunnel vision when it comes to her. But I think a lot of dudes, in my opinion, because I was that dude way before I met Maria, that I got caught up. Right? It happens. I got caught up. I was dating girl A, B, C, D. 4 girls at the same time. And then I realized, Ken, you mentioned it earlier, I realized it's kind of a douchey move. Because I dated took girl A out for this date, and then a couple hours later, I got to take girl C out, and then tomorrow I'm taking girl D to the park and taking girl B to the movies later on that day. I got caught up. I was one of the and I'll be honest, way before I met Maria now, I was that guy where I mixed the girls' names up because I didn't know who I was dating, trying to see 4 girls at the same time. I called girl A Ashley, called her Bianca, right? And the girl B, I called her Cameron, right? I mixed up the names because I was that douchebag that I couldn't lock it down with just one. So it was a bad experience. It was a bad experience for sure. It's one of those things that it sucked. It sucked for a while. But then, as me and Maria grew and I locked it down, of course, obviously don't mix her name up. I wouldn't be here today if I did that. I would be dead laying down somewhere. It's a douchey move for us guys. Not us as me and you, Kinley, but guys out there, it's a douchey move for a lot of people who try to date multiple women. And it's also a douchey move on the lady's part if you invite your homegirl to a date when that guy just wants to get to know you. And I gotta say, first impressions is everything. It is. First impressions is everything. So for my fellas, because Monica, you mentioned it, if you taking a girl out on your date and you forget your wallet, that has your driver's license in there. So the question is, how did you drive without your license? That's the first thing. That should be another red flag. But if you forget your wallet in the car, you better go in that car and get your wallet. You shouldn't have to pay for your first date. You should have to pay for your first date. The women, the women shouldn't have to pay for their first date. Because if the female pays for the man and hers the first date, you probably ain't gonna have her. She's probably not gonna call you again, because in her mind, it sets off that red flag that, hey, this dude's broke. This dude played me for a free meal, so I don't want to see him again. Right? Red flag.
Red flags all the way on the play. Comment below, guys. Let us know what you guys think. Would you pay for 2 dinners, or would you walk out if your potential date brings a friend? That's a question that we put in our forum. We like to hear from y'all. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast, the Beyond Swanky podcast. Thank you guys again for being patient with us. I know it's film release week was last week. If you guys haven't seen our documentary, Street Style Homecoming, and of course my latest suspense thriller, 1943, both films are available right now, streaming today on Amazon Prime Video. Guys, don't miss out. It's available streaming now. Number one, I greatly appreciate it, and you will not regret it, because these are 2 films that are extraordinary for the springtime as well. So again, we're going to wrap it up here. The Beyond Swanky podcast this morning, live from Swanky Studios, our cast and crew. As always, I like to say, stay safe, stay swanky, peace.